The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, show number 521. Welcome to the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, helping you celebrate Celtic culture through music. I am Mark Gunn. I'm a Celtic musician and podcaster, and this show is dedicated to the independent Celtic musicians. Please support these artists, share the show with your friends, and find more episodes at CelticMusicPodcast.com. You can also support this podcast on Patreon. And I am looking for some good stories to share on our companion podcast, Pub Songs and Stories. It's a virtual public house for musicians to share the stories and inspiration behind their music. If you have a story that you'd like to share about a song from a gig or maybe just a piece of Celtic history that you love, drop me an email at celticpodcast@gmail.com. Put pub story in this show's subject. Tell me about your story. Maybe I'll ask you to record it. All right, we kicked off the show with a new artist, Gaelynn Leah. That was Boys of Bluehill from the songs we sing along the way. And I was very pleased to get a message from Gaelynn Leah. I found her on the NPR Tiny Desk concert series many years ago, and she's still out there making music and doing a beautiful job with it. So I was very happy to get her added to this podcast. So welcome, Gaelynn Leah. Next up is Adam Young with Forever Young from his album Yearbook.
pity beyond all telling is hid in the heart of love. The folk who are buying and selling, the clouds on their journey above, the cold wet winds ever blowing, and the shadowy hazel grove, where mouse grey waters are flowing, threaten the head that I love. The cold wet winds head that I love.
Macaire off your face, brooding over the old disgrace. Black Fitzwilliam stormed the place and drove you to the fern. Grace said victory was sure. Soon the firebrand he'd secure, until he met the Glen Malure with Fiach MacHugh O'Byrne. Curse and swear, Lord Kildare, Fiach will do what Fiach will dare. Now Fitzwilliam have a care, Falling is your star low, up with halberd, out with sword. On we'll go by for the Lord. Fiach McHugh has given the word. Follow me up to Carlow. The swords of Glen and Mail flashing o'er the English pale. See all the children of the Gael beneath the burns banner. Rooster of the fighting stock, would you let a Saxon cock crow upon an Irish rock? Fly up and teach in manners, curse and swear, Lord Kildare. Fiach will do what Fiach will dare. Now Fitzwilliam, have a care. Falling is your star low, up with halberd, out with sword. On we'll go by for the Lord. Fiach McHugh has given the word. Follow me up to Carlow. Since Cromwell put us westward to live our lowly lives, there's some of us doomed to fight from Tipperary mountains high. Noble men with wills of iron, who are not afraid to die, who will fight with Gaelic honor held on high. A curse upon you, Oliver Cromwell, you've raped our motherland. I hope you're rotting down in hell for the horrors that you sent to my misfortunate forefathers, whom you robbed of their birthright to hell or Connacht. May you burn in hell tonight. One such man I'd like to speak, Rapparee by name, indeed his family dispossessed and slaughtered. They put a price upon his head, his name is known in song and story, and his deeds are legend still. Murdered for blood money was our young Ned of the Hill. A curse upon you, Oliver Cromwell, you've raped our motherland. I hope you're rotting down in hell for the horrors that you sent to my misfortunate forefathers, whom you robbed of their birthright to hell or Connacht. May it burn in hell tonight. You have robbed our homes and fortunes, even drove us from the land. You've tried to break our spirits, but you'll never understand the love of dear old Ireland that can forge an iron will, as long as there are gallant men like young Ned of the Hill. Curse upon you, Oliver Cromwell, you've raped our motherland. I hope you're rotting down in hell for the horrors that you sent to my misfortunate forefathers, whom you robbed of their birthright to hell or Connacht. May you burn in hell tonight.
After Adam Young came Ashley Davis. That's a track called The Pity of Love. It's from a new compilation called I Am of Ireland, Yeats in Song. This is an album of Celtic and folk music using 24 poems of Irish writer William Butler Yeats, set to new music by Raymond Driver. And it features a lot of amazing Celtic musicians. So go check that out, yeatsinsong.com. After Ashley Davis came Matt and Shannon Heaton with the Shady Spot from Blue Skies Above. And if you like that tune or just want to find out where that tune came from, Matt and Shannon Heaton are on the latest episode of Pub Songs and Stories, our companion podcast. And finally, Tom Dunn with Follow Me Up to Carlow and AY-mon CUN-ic from his album, well, we're going to call it FFS for short. He pronounces it in Irish, and I was trying to get a translation from Neil, who does my Irish pronunciation guides. And Neil said it is basically meaning FFS. If you don't know what that means, you can Google it. They try to keep the podcast FFS friendly. I want your feedback. What are you doing today while listening to the podcast? You can send a written comment along with a picture of what you're doing while listening. Email a voicemail message to CelticPodcast@gmail.com. I missed this congrats from Jared Reynolds. Hey, Mark, congrats on the 500th episode. I highly enjoy the podcast. One of my ancestral lines is Irish, so Irish music has a special place in my heart, and the fact I've been to Scotland makes that even more special. I was wondering if you had any suggestions for instrumental Irish harp artists that specialize in reels and jigs. The first one that comes to my mind, Jared, is Doc Growser, docgrowser.com. He's a harper out of Austin, Texas, and I know he loves upbeat reels and jigs on the harp, so check him out. Domenico Rossi emailed a photo. Hi, Mark. It's Domenico here from Italy. I'm just listening to your podcast, episode 517, while I'm finishing up details of my final thesis. You know how it works. Each time you write even a single letter, images go everywhere and you have to put them again in the correct place. And of course, there are always small changes to do, and your wonderful podcast is here to help me. Since I've become a patron several months ago, I can hear episodes some days before usual, and it's a great way to start the week. Or also finish it by listening to them again and again. Thanks for all your work. God bless, and Sláinte. Thank you, Domenico. You can see his picture in the show notes for show number 521. And while I did not do a final thesis, I could sympathize because of my wife when she went through her thesis and having to organize on those computers and everything gets mushed around. It's crazy. I feel for you, man. I feel for you. Joe Christensen emailed, "Hi, Mark. I've been listening and subscribing to your podcast for a long while. You have been for a while now asking what we are doing while listening. I don't have a photo for you, but I am usually grading physics homework. Although they are unaware of it, I am quite sure the students appreciate that my mood is jaunty while I grade their work." I love that, Joe. Thanks. Speaking of students, which is my actual reason for writing during the pandemic, I've been recording and posting my lectures so that students who are in quarantine are caring for others who are sick or are simply cautious about bringing the virus home to others and keep up with my class. Inspired by my gratitude for you for diligently maintaining the practice of including timestamps in all of your show notes, I can't tell you how helpful that has been. I started timestamping my 50-minute lectures. Nice. Many students have expressed to me their gratitude for my effort in that regard, and I wanted to share that gratitude with you. Your patience and attention to detail has benefits not just for those of us who listen and buy music we hear, but also has secondary benefits to those who interact also with us. You're positively impacting in many ways. Speaking of that, I'm also grateful whenever you stand up for the women of Irish music, the LGBT community, and your broader support of a variety of peoples and cultures. Thank you. Happy holidays. I hope you and your family are safe and healthy. Thanks, Joe. First off, regarding the time stamping, I got to say I've been... When I started podcasting, people used to say, you don't want people to skip around. You want to make sure they can hear their advertising and blah, 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 which is true. You know, I mean, when you have ads, I try not to include too much talking or too many ads in my shows. But I realized eventually that, this is a way for you to have some control of the podcast. You get to be even more interactive with the show, which is why not only are there timestamps, but now there are also show chapters. Apparently, this is a special feature that the people at Overcast set up, where you can create chapters. And it makes it even easier to skip around and listen to the music that you want over and over again. So I'm glad to hear that it's been helping you and your students. So that's fantastic. And yes, I am always happy to stand up and support minorities, whether it is the women of Irish music, the LGBT community, blacks, Hispanics, whatever. I remember looking at all the history that I read of the Celts and how they were impacted for hundreds of years by a majority group. It made me realize how important it is that we stand up for all people, no matter your race, creed, or color. So I'm very happy about that. All right, let's get back to the music. We have the old Polina. This is by Jesse Ferguson. He has a brand new album out. It is called Sea Shanties. Here's Jesse.
There's a noble fleet of whalers a-sailing from Dundee, manned by British sailors to take 'em o'er the sea. On a western ocean passage we started on the trip. We flew along just like a song in our gallant whaling ship. For the wind was on her quarter, the engines working free. There's not another whaler that sailed the Arctic Sea can beat the old Polina. You need not try, my sons. We challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's. 'Twas the second Sunday morning, just after leaving port. We met a heavy southwest gale that washed away our boat. It washed away our quarter-deck, our stanchions just as well, and so we set the whole shebang a-floating in the gale. For the wind was on her quarter, the engines working free. There's not another whaler that sailed the Arctic Sea can beat the old Polina. You need not try, my sons. We challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's. Art Jackson set his canvas, fair weather got up steam, and Captain Guy, the daring boy, came plunging through the stream. And Mullins in the husky tried to beat the blooming lot, but to beat the old Polina, boys, was something he could not. For the wind was on her quarter, the engines working free. There's not another whaler that sailed the Arctic Sea can beat the old Polina. You need not try, my sons. We challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's. There's the noble Terra Nova, a model without doubt. The Arctic and Aurora they talk so much about. Art Jackman's model mailboat, the terror of the sea, tried to beat the old Polina on a passage from Dundee. For the wind was on her quarter, the engines working free. There's not another whaler that sailed the Arctic Sea can beat the old Polina. You need not try, my sons. We challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's. And now we're back in old St. John's, where rum is very cheap. We'll drink a health to Captain Guy, who brought us o'er the deep. Here's a health to all our sweethearts and to our wives so fair. Not another ship could make the trip but the Polina, I declare. For the wind was on her quarter, the engines working free. There's not another whaler that sailed the Arctic Sea can beat the old Polina. You need not try, my sons. We challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's.
you heard about the big strong man? He lived in a caravan. Have you heard about the Jeffries Johnson fight? Oh, what a hell of a fight. But you can take every heavyweight you got. We got a lad who can beat the whole lot. He used to ring the bells in the belfry. Now he's gonna fight Jack Dempsey. He's my brother, Sylvester.
What's he got?
Got a row of 40 medals on his chest.
Big chest.
He killed 50 bad men in the West. He knows no rest. You know what I think? We should go through this chorus together so you can sing it with us. So the chorus is, he's my brother Sylvester.
What's he got?
You saying, what's he got? He's got a row of 40 medals on his chest.
Big chest.
He killed 50 bad men in the West. He knows no rest. He's got an arm like a leg. Lady's leg. He's got a punch that'll sink a battleship.
Big ship.
It takes all of the Army and the Navy to pump the wind up. Sylvester.
You left out the other Sylvester.
So it's, he's my brother, Sylvester. What's he got? Got a row of 40 medals on his chest. Big chest. He killed 50 bad men in the West. He knows no rest. He's got an arm like a leg.
Lady's leg.
Got a punch that'll sink a battleship. Big ship. It takes all of the Army and the Navy to pump the wind up. Sylvester. You've got it. Chorus number 1. He thought he'd take a trip to old Japan. They rolled out a big brass band. He played every instrument they got. Like a lad, sure he beat the whole lot. And the church bells will ring, and the church choir will sing. They'll all come out to bid farewell to my big brother Sylvester. He's my brother, Sylvester.
What's he got?
Got a row of 40 medals on his chest.
Big chest.
He killed 50 bad men in the West. He knows no rest. Think of the man, hell's fire. Don't push, just shove. Plenty of room for you and me. He's got an arm like a leg.
Lady's leg.
Got a punch that'll sink a battleship.
Big ship.
It takes all of the Army and the Navy to pump the wind up. Sylvester. He thought he'd take a trip to Italy. He thought he'd take the trip by sea. He jumped off the harbor in New York. He swam like a man made of cork. He saw the Lusitania in distress. He saw the Lusitania on his chest. He drank all the water in the sea, and he walked all the way to Italy. He's my brother, Sylvester.
What's he got?
Got a row of 40 medals on his chest.
Big chest.
He killed 50 bad men in the West. He knows no rest. Think of the man, hell's fire. Don't push, just shove. Plenty of room for you and me. He's got an arm like a leg.
Lady's leg.
Got a punch that'll sink a battleship.
Big ship.
Takes all of the Army and the Navy to pump the wind up. Sylvester. He's my brother, Sylvester. What's he got? Got a row of 40 medals on his chest. Big chest. He killed 50 bad men in the West. He knows no rest. Think of the man, hell's fire. Don't push, just shove. Plenty of room for you and me. He's got an arm like a leg.
Lady's leg.
Got a punch that'll sink a battleship. Big ship. It takes all of the Army and the Navy to pump the wind up. Sylvester. It takes all of the Army and the Navy to pump the wind up. Sylvester. It takes all of the Army and the Navy to pump the wind up. Sylvester. Thank you.
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy of Tea. Winds blew up her bow, dip down. Blow, my bully boys, blow. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done,
We'll take our leave and go.
She'd not been 2 weeks from the shore when down on her right whale aboard. The captain called all hands and swore, take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done,
We'll take our leave and go.
No line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not of greed, and he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done,
We'll take our leave and go.
For 40 days or even more, the line went slack and tight once more. The boats were lost, no lead and fore, but that whale did go. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done,
We'll take our leave and go.
As far as I've heard, the fight's still on. The line's not cut, the whale's not gone. The wellerman makes his regular call to the captain, crew and all. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done,
We'll take our leave and go.
The sun was setting in the west. The birds were singing on every tree. All nature seemed inclined for the rest, but alas, there was no rest for me. I grieve to leave my native land. I grieve to leave my comrades all, and my parents whom I love so dear, and the bonny, bonny lassie that I do adore. Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. Or when I am far away o'er the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? The drums they beat and the wars do alarm. The captain is calling, I must obey. Farewell, farewell to Nova Scotia's charm, for it's early in the morning and I'm bound far away. Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I am far away o'er the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? I have 3 brothers, they are at rest. Their arms are folded across their chest, and a poor simple sailor just like me will be tossed and turned on the deep blue sea. Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I am far away o'er the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? Farewell to Nova Scotia, your sea-bound coast. Let your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I am far away o'er the briny ocean tossed, will you ever heave sigh or a wish for me? Will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me?
After Jesse Ferguson came Muireann with Shebeg Shimor from Nyad-EW. Then Laughing Jack with Sylvester from Live at the Indie Folk Series. The Darkeyed Musician was there next with the Dryads from her album Illumina. And then Bang on the Ear with Wellerman from 15. That is a brand new album from Bang on the Ear as well. And we finish off the set with the High Kings from their album Home from Home. That was Farewell to Nova Scotia. Thank you, patrons of the podcast. Because of your kind and generous support, this show comes out at least 4 times a month. Your generosity funds the creation, promotion, and production of the show. It allows us to attract new listeners and help our community grow. As a patron, you get to hear episodes before regular listeners. When we hit a milestone, you get an extra long episode, and we are, I think, about 15 people away from a 2-hour instrumental episode. And of course, you can pledge just $1 or more per episode and cap how much you want to spend each and every month over on Patreon. And if you pledge $5 or more per episode, you'll also get the all-new music-only episodes. I introduce the show, play non-stop music for nearly an hour, and then close out the show. It's definitely an extra added bonus. Plus, you'll get access to hundreds of free MP3 downloads. A super special thanks to our newest patrons, Matt and Joan, Richard B., who raised his pledge, Gaelynn Leah, and Perry Thompson. You can become a generous patron of the podcast on Patreon at songhinge.com. And also, remember to vote in the Celtic Top 20. If there's a song in this show that you really love, you'll find an easy link to go cast your vote. Next up is Will Macmorran with New Ritual from Glen Echo.
Devil's perched upon my shoulder, shrewdly whispers in my ear. I'm trying hard not to listen for fear of liking what I'd hear. The angel long since fled the scene, she's far beyond the hill. Oh, take me back to the valley where time stands still. Feels like I'm running down a road, need to rest now for a while. So my mind takes me by the hand, helps me walk that country mile. But Russian skies like deep blue eyes, they always leave a lasting chill. So take me back to the valley where time stands still. And sirens surround me everywhere, and the people hurry to and fro completely unaware. And me, I'm feeling lonesome, my stomach it feels ill. Oh, take me back to the valley where time stands still. And I remember good old days without a worry or a care. I'd ramble and I'd gamble, my heart could not be shared. If I could just turn back the clock, you know I'd do it all again. So take me back to the valley where time stands still. Peaceful times, living back home by the sea. For I heard that mighty ocean roar was calling me. But sometimes aimless wandering will leave you facing up the hill. So take me back to the valley where time stands still. Oh, won't you take me back to the valley where time stands still? Won't you take me back to the valley where time stands still? tired eyes. Surrounded by the blankets warm, he contemplates the rise. His muscles and his bones work no longer as a team. The years of sea and tide have made him weary, lean and mean. The porridge and the tea bag squeeze his life back into brain. A quick glance through the window showing easing of the rain. His pain in his heart for the lover he adores. She's carried him through storms, always safely back to shore. Well, naughty Bridget is a name she held so well. For many days and nights she fought the sea in fierce swell. But now her days are numbered, for her tethered ropes are worn. Goodbye, my love, forever I will mourn. Still beautiful and proud. The creaking of her bones in the night she screams out loud. Not quite the graceful youth of years, the storms have taken toll. Still standing in the harbour with her elegance and soul. Well, naughty Bridget is a name she held so well. For many days and nights she fought the sea in fierce swell. But now her days are numbered, for her tethered ropes are worn. Goodbye, my love, forever I will mourn. Come on, Bridget. For her shine will never dim. We'll end our years together in the depths of sea and sin. The ropes I tie around her neck will guide her through the night. The crashing waves and jagged rocks together win this fight. Well, naughty Bridget is a name she held so well. For many days and nights she fought the sea in fierce swell. But now her days are numbered, for her tethered ropes are worn. Goodbye, my love, forever I will mourn.
After Will Macmorran came Michael Darcy and the Atlantic Tramps with Take Me Back to the Valley. Then came Drumspyder with the Dunmore Lasses from Kenning. And finally, I had a request for the Elders on a previous show. So that was the Elders with Naughty Bridget from Story Road. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please share it with a friend or on social. The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast is here to build our diverse Celtic community and help the incredible artists who so generously share their music with you. If you hear music you love, buy the album, shirts, and songbooks, follow the Irish on streaming, see the shows, and drop them an email to let them know you heard them on the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. Every week, you can get Celtic music news in your inbox. The Celtic Music Magazine is a quick and easy way to plug yourself into more great Celtic culture. Subscribe and get 34 Celtic MP3s for free. All right, we are going to finish up the show with a flashback artist. This is Skully. Haven't had his music on the show in a while, but this is from his album Irish Makeover. The track is The Blackbird. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back again next week. Sláinte.
am a young maiden, my story is sad. For once I was carefree, in love with a lad. He courted me sweetly, by night and by day. But now he has left me and gone far away. If I was a blackbird, could whistle and sing, I'd follow the ship that my true love sails in. And in the top rigging I would there build my nest, and I'd flutter my wings o'er his broad golden chest. He sailed o'er the ocean, his fortune to seek, but I missed his caresses, his kiss on my cheek. He returned and I told him my love was still warm, but he turned away lightly, and great was his scorn. He offered to take me to Donnybrook Fair, to buy me fine ribbons to tie in my hair. He offered to marry and to stay by my side, but then in the morning he sailed with the tide. If I was a blackbird, could whistle and sing, I'd follow the ship that my true love sails in, and in the top rigging I would there build my nest, and I'd flutter my wings on his poor golden chest. If I was a blackbird, could whistle and sing, I'd follow the ship that my true love sails in, and in the top rigging I would there build my nest, and I'd flutter my wings on his broad golden chest.
The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast is a proud supporter of the Middle Tennessee Highland Games and Celtic Festival. It happens on September 11th this year. The games provide the chance for amateur athletes, both men and women, to compete in all the traditional heavy Scottish athletic events to the thrill of a large crowd of fans. Plus, you'll enjoy music from Seven Nations, Secret Commonwealth, Tuatha, and many more artists. It's a one-day affair this year, so I want to send a special thanks to our patrons of the podcast who help make this happen. A portion of your pledges goes to support Celtic nonprofits like the Middle Tennessee Highland Games and Celtic Festival. You can find out more about the games at mid10games.com. There's a link in the show notes on how to put that into your browser. You can also find out how you can support the festival through your patronage. Go check it out. The Middle Tennessee Highland Games and Celtic Festival, September 11th. The Irish and Celtic Music Podcast was edited by Mitchell Peterson with graphics by Murr-en and Nelson Designs. The show is produced by Mark Gundy Celtfather. Subscribe through your favorite podcatcher or on our website, where you can become a patron of the podcast for as little as $1 per episode. Promote Celtic culture through music at CelticMusicPodcast.com.